Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Prophet Able podcast. I'm Terri Milroy, and welcome. This is going to be a little bit different episode, and it's going to be a little bit shorter than normal. But given the events in the world last week, there's one thing that I really would like to comment on, and I felt like this was a good place to do it. And some of the things that have been in the news over the last week or so have been beyond horrific. They're ghastly, abominable. I don't even have adjectives adequate to describe them. And bad actors in the world need to be held to account. There is truly bad actors in the world. There are people who deliberately choose bad things, not in the heat of the moment, not to protect someone, not to protect themselves, just to be evil and ugly. And those people should be held responsible for their actions. That said, most of the world is not evil and ugly and bad. And I think it's really important that we remember that. I also think that some of what we are experiencing in the world today is partly due to the fact that we as a society have become very reactionary. It started before COVID, but it got really bad during COVID. And there's been a lot of things that have happened, especially here in the United States, but all over the world, that have prompted a lot of anger and frustration and feelings of helplessness in people. And those are normal human emotions. And we need to acknowledge those and deal with them and process them. But we need to process them and stop focusing on them. Because if you are familiar with the law of attraction, and most people in the world are, most people in the digital entrepreneur space are, but if you are not, the law of attraction says that what you focus on, where you put your attention, is what you create in the world. And neuroscience has actually proven that our brain does not change our life to match our world. Our brain changes our world to match our thoughts. So, what we are experiencing is a result of our collective consciousness. And again, I'm not excusing bad actors. There are people who are making deliberate decisions who need to be punished for their deliberate decisions. But there is an underlying festering current of frustration and anger that has to be dealt with, because what we are seeing is a result of all of our emotions that we are so focused on. When something bad happens, it's important to acknowledge it and to deal with it, and then to move our attention elsewhere, not to continue to focus on it over and over. We live in an era where the media are rewarded for grabbing our attention with disgusting images of evil, and this is really hard. Human depravity. Okay. What bleeds leads. And we cannot, as a society, allow that to continue and expect to have a different society than what we are currently dealing with. We need to be focused on the good things in the world. Because, for every bad actor, there are hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of good actors. There are people who do amazing things every single day. There have been so many groups protesting police brutality. And again, not excusing anyone who is a bad actor. But I also see local stories that never go national about police officers who spend all of their time off taking sandwiches to children who don't have enough food to eat, and who go around and collect money from all of the businesses in a neighborhood to buy toys for children at Christmas whose families don't have the ability to do so, and who mentor young people because those young people don't have a two-parent home or two parents in their lives at all. And so I think that we are spending so much time on the negative and rehashing bad things that people have done over and over and over again on social media and on the news, that we are creating a society that has no ability to see the good in the world. There is so much good. There's so much love and there's so much goodness. And what we are seeing now is a reflection of the bad, because that's all that we're spending our time on. And I don't want this most recent world event to be a reason for millions or hundreds of millions of people around the world to do nothing but focus on anger and rage again. We have to be the change we want to see in the world. That's what Gandhi said, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. We have to be the change that we want to see. And if you want a world where our children and our grandchildren grow up with peace and with kindness and with an end to prejudice, then there has to be a focus on the people and the events that prove that there is peace in places, that there is acceptance and understanding and love. That's where we have to give our focus and our attention. And when bad actions happen, we need to take the appropriate steps to deal with them and then turn our focus back to the good. Move our collective consciousness to the people who are doing the right things, who are doing the good things. Because if we don't, then we're going to continue to have frustrated, angry children, frustrated, angry adults who lash out. And we're going to wind up with our grandchildren in the same spot that we're in today. And that's not what I want. And I don't think it's what you want. And again, I'm not trying to dismiss the gravity and the horror of things that have happened in the world recently. I just want us to consider that when you never stop focusing and looking for the bad, when you approach every person of a specific ethnicity with an expectation, or every person of a certain religion with an expectation, or every person of a certain race with an expectation, or every person with a specific job with an expectation, then what you expect is what you find. Our brains create our reality. It is not the reverse. And it's time for all of us to take a stand for a better world by changing the collective consciousness, by changing our focus. And in the middle of all of this sadness and horror, what can we focus on that is beautiful and good? You know, I saw a article, I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday now, that was people who were smuggling people out of Gaza and out of Israel, risking their own lives to do it. That's a good story. That's a beautiful story, because that shows the level of decency that still exists. Why can't we focus on that? Why can't we glorify that in the news and on social media? And say, look, world, here's where we really are. Those people don't represent all of us. They're outliers. And we'll deal with the outliers so that we can have more of this. Okay, I'm not going to belabor this, but I just really felt like it was important to scrap what I was going to do for this week and put this out there. And please know that if you are someone who has suffered loss or have people in danger that you care about, my heart goes out to you and my prayers are with you and the people that you love. But let's not let this happen again. Let's not allow our frustration and our anger and our grief to create a world where this is acceptable, because lashing out in anger is okay. All right. I love you all. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week with an amazing interview that I can't wait to share with you. Take care.